All right, awesome. I think we're gonna get going here in a second. All right, perfect. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the webinar. Happy Thursday. This is MessageGears, Fuel Your Marketing with SMS. Thought it would be creative to call this Text with MessageGears, but you definitely don't want to be texting with us. You want to be texting your customers to engage them with your brand. So we're so happy to have you. We'll go on and introduce ourselves. My name is Danielle Briner, and I'm the Product Marketing Manager here at MessageGears.
And I'm Luke Ambrosetti. I'm on our solutions team, engineering team here at MessageGears.
Awesome. Thanks for taking some time to dive into all of this stuff with me today, Luke.
Yeah, of course, Danielle. It's great to see you again. I'm excited to get started here.
Yeah, and for everyone watching, Luke is doing our inaugural first ever webinar in our brand new office in Midtown. So we are expecting smooth sailing for this.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You actually have right now out the window here. And I'm also actually on a hotspot. So this might be the first ever webinar off a hotspot. So I'm sure it's going to go great.
MessageGears is a cutting edge technology, as everyone knows. So, all right, cool. So we're gonna go through some housekeeping here, just a little bit of order of events. Today, we're gonna dive into, general importance of SMS, some growth and discomfort that you may face trying to get this up and running with your team. If you haven't tried it yet, or if you're switching from a siloed, disorganized solution, unlike MessageGears, we will be changing your opinions of how easy it is to use SMS. And then finally, we're going to pop into the system and see what we're doing. And the most anticipated part of this webinar, Luke Ambrosetti, my counterpart here, is going to walk us through some real life use cases. And then we'll just, do some takeaways, Q&A. We're super excited to show you guys how MessageGears lets you work with your creative all in one space, email, push, SMS, super easily integrated on the MessageGears platform. And as always, if you guys have questions or comments, drop them in the chat and we'll be answering them as we go. So we'll move right along here. Gotta remember to click all of these so you guys can read as we chat. So SMS, the reason you're all here is the future of reaching your customers. We already know how relevant it is. We know how important it is. I don't know about you guys. I'm always checking my phone. But while reviewing the statistics for this webinar, I was kind of shocked by the engagement and relevance, of SMS, because it doesn't seem like that many brands are using it yet. Because 98% of people prefer SMS. They're opening those messages within 3 minutes or less. I mean, if I were a brand, I would be using it already. What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, in this case, my phone is actually intentionally away from me so I can focus here, because otherwise I would be checking my phone every 3 seconds. So,
I mean, thank God you don't have a watch on right now that notifies you. I'm also on Do Not Disturb.
I took that off too.
Excellent. Yeah. So, I mean, as we can see, SMS has grown 150% since 2015. This is super powerful for brands looking to reach their users. 75% of people are saying they'd opt in to using SMS. And it's important to note that people are using SMS for coupons, offers, and these offers are being used 10 times more than other offers, sent via email or maybe push notification or carrier pigeon. So you never know. But yeah, so Luke, do these stats kind of jive with what you've seen with all of our customers using MessageGears SMS already?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very successful channel for our customers for sure. So it's growing and growing every month.
Yeah, well, you nailed it. I think it's the quickness and the convenience factor of it, just having it right there. You don't have to pull anything up. You don't have to load it. If you have a BlackBerry like our Nixie Glofez, you get them. Oh my gosh, we're having too much fun here. But let's dive into a little bit of growth and discomfort just to even out our good time. So compared to other things, many people may want to use SMS. Many marketing teams may want to, they have SMS strategy, but they don't know how to implement it. More B2C businesses want to use it, but they're just not really sure where to go. The answer is right here. It's MessageGears actually. But with all of these people preferring SMS, it's not a super easy thing to implement. So when you may be looking, oh, like I want to add SMS, but it's going to cost so much, or it's not going to integrate with my other tools. Those are some roadblocks that people are facing. And while it may be fairly straightforward, we all want to do it, but we're not yet. So that's what we see in the gap. The 61% of marketers. I have my screen over here, by the way. So it's like you guys are all here with me. They still don't use it. So they're all here today to see how easy it is to integrate with all of their other creative. Anything to add to Luke while I move into this poll here?
No, I think you covered it.
All right, cool. Guys, we have a poll to get the party started. I will be launching it right now. We request that you interact so we can talk about it. So some of our options here as you guys are chiming in. We have yes, SMS is fully integrated. So maybe you guys are tuning in because you're our customers and you just want to see how awesome this is, or more likely B or C. So yes, but we're only partially there with a third-party mobile solution, or no, but it's on our roadmap. So we'll give you a couple more seconds to answer. Tons of responses rolling in. We have a really good audience today. Thanks for showing. All right, so I'm going to close it. And we can just share it right now and just dig into that if we want. So as expected, 56% of you said it's on your roadmap. Luke, is SMS on your personal roadmap?
Yes, absolutely. I need to text people more, get together people more. Part of the roadmap for this year for sure.
Yeah, and okay, looks like most of the other people are partially there. They want to learn more. So we're so glad you guys are here. This is exactly what we're here for, and we're really looking forward to showing you the platform. So before we do that, Luke's just going to dive into some reasons why SMS adoption may lose traction if you guys, are using other tools right now and you don't love them. So Luke, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Danielle. And like you said earlier, so a lot of the issues that can come up from a siloed solution, right? You have, if you're doing your email and your SMS and your push through different vendors, it's making sure all that data is synced. And then, it's just, it can be a big challenge, right? To make sure everything's synced, to make sure all the content looks, is in line with each other across different platforms. And maybe it doesn't integrate too well with your current workflow. So you have specific dedicated teams to each and it's, again, it can be a communication issue internally. And it can get hard to get an SMS too, right? Because as we said here, yes, it is expensive, or it is more expensive than email. It's clearly worth it, like we've discussed previously in those slides. Customers are more engaged with SMS. So yeah, sure, there's some more costs, or some more upfront costs, and some you have to get your infrastructure set up internally, but those really pay off towards the end. And then lastly, it's kind of this fear of, well, we don't know how SMS works. We're great with email. We love email. It's all of our marketing is done basically through email, and it works great for us, and we're just we like sticking with that. So it's important to choose a partner who is intelligent with SMS, can guide you, point you in the right direction, and help you there along the way. And MessageGears is here to help you do that if you're looking.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about this when you were talking through these, Luke. It is important to note that Luke may be one of the people, he probably will be the person, your MessageGears SMS savior, when you are getting set up on SMS. It takes like a couple days, maybe. It's so fast and easy. Our customer support team is great. And yeah, it's just something to highlight, because I know it's not always the majority, but at MessageGears it is.
Yeah, it's not just me though, Danielle. It's a team effort here. Team effort.
Luke's humble. That's something I respect about his grind. Okay, cool. So just some key terms. You guys probably already know these, but we just want to roll over them before we get into the platform. So short codes, what are they? If you're opted into any brands sending you SMS today, which I already told Luke like an hour ago, I have like 6 offers on my phone right now. I'm not shopping. I will be responsible today. I'm so sorry. But short codes are the 5 or 6 digit codes. That's typical for the US. They may be longer or shorter in other countries, but that's what you're going to receive the SMS message on your phone with. They're so easy for mass texting and sending two-way messaging, which you'll see right below that. That's two-way interaction. So unlike email, with SMS, marketing campaigns can anticipate feedback from their customers. So you may ask them to reply with a word or reply with another phrase that you can then send them an offer, and you can track their engagement, which is super neat. And you get a much better response there. And then lastly, keyword interaction. When you're sending a word or phrase to a brand, you may want a response, or very classic, the word stop if you're, getting too many, or help to get like help, they could send you to their website or something, FAQs, what have you. And we're gonna see, Luke will walk us through how we set all of those up super easily today in the system. So these are just a few things we live and breathe by every day at MessageGears. Sound good to you, Luke?
Yeah, sounds great. And so I'm going to
Awesome.
take us through, through some use cases here today. That are 3 great brands here: City and Glory, Getaway Hotels, and Strong Rock Financial. So the first use case, again, to be brief here, we'll do a easy cross-channel SMS workflow, how to set up SMS within your current workflow, and then doing some personalization when it comes to SMS, and then finally a slightly more advanced use case with SMS as well. So excited to get into that with you guys.
Perfect. And as always, send all the questions. Now that Luke will be presenting, send harder questions.
Yes.
I'm going to switch the presenter here to you, Luke. We'll find you on here. Perfect. Okay.
All right. Danielle, are we good?
Yes, looking good on my end, I'll say for everyone.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is a what we call a template in Accelerator, which is the platform that we offer that you can go through and design your content with. So and here one template is actually, we think of it as a container of a few different templates. So in this case, there is your email template, your push template, and then we're going to go through and show you how to create an SMS template that can again be sent, or that can be leveraged for true cross-channel messaging.
Yeah, so this is really
So
easy for customers that like already use MessageGears to just fold SMS right into their workflow if they wanted. Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
Cool.
Oh, of course, exactly. So this is kind of just the blank screen that you get when going through here and creating a new template, right? So as you can see over here, you'll have a nice little preview. It's not quite the BlackBerry that our coworker loves here, Danielle, but it's a nice view of
We have to stay
what
trendy
is
with the
presented.
iPhone.
So the very first thing you'll do is come through here and select a shortcode that you're going to want to send with. So in this case, the demo code that we'll use today is the 61030. And this code will show you where it's allowed to send to. So in this case, this is only allowed to send to phone numbers within the US, or the +1 country code. And then down here, it'll also show you what keywords are configured for that shortcode as well. So as you can see, kind of the standard stop and helper there, right? And these are the kind of the automated messages that you'll get from that. There's a gears keyword here that allows you to opt in. And then a few others down here as well: MessageGears, and this last one,
Awesome.
webinar.
Oh, I see a webinar keyword. Can we text webinar to that shortcode?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you
Yeah.
want to test
So
this out right now? I'm going to try
yeah,
it.
go for it. You can do it. Anyone on the webinar can do it right now. once you text webinar to 61030, you'll get this message here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Guys, it works. It works.
So let's go
That's
through
amazing.
and design our, let's go through and design our message. So I'll start with the brand name to try and conform to some standards here. Just let the customer know if they don't know the number, that they know who it's coming from. So I'll do CNG for City and Glory, and I'll say use code CG 2021. Next purchase. Short and sweet. Code, what the code's doing. So help your customers save a little money and generate some traffic too. So what we'll do is we'll click save here. And as soon as we save this, this saves this save the template. So now this can be used for sending. So as you see here, there's a preview over here what this will look like on the device. And then we can also go through and go to our preview screen to go through of how this cross-channel message will look like across the different channels. So here you'll see we have kind of the HTML, the email preview here. We have the push device preview of what it'll look like on a push message. And then finally, we have the SMS preview that we saw before.
Wow, this is great. Luke, we're getting a question here. It says, how can you, so they know they can personalize email. How can they personalize SMS messages here in MessageGears?
Yeah, great question. Actually, it's going to lead me into my next example. But before I actually jump into the next example, I did want to show how you can send a test to yourself. So we'll actually send it. Yeah, we'll actually send this message as a test, and I can send it to my email address. I might actually want to send it to a phone number too. And I have a phone number here. Let's see.
Okay.
A good friend named Nicholas that we'll use.
Excellent.
And yeah, and so you can go through, put the number in, and then hit send. And then once you hit send, it shows you that it's sent the email message. It shows you it's the SMS message as tests. So then that'll get to the device.
Wow. So like if I were a marketer, I could just review that right away. I could see exactly how it looks.
Yep,
So
and it will come from again, your number.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, and then so again, that use case that you asked about, this is the second use case. So adding in some personalization. So in this case, this is the getaway hotels, like a arrival confirmation, or like, you know, the check-in confirmation that you might get, right? So it's a more transactional or trigger type of message. But with that example, I'll show you how you can go through and easily add personalization in here. So in this message, the same short code, and you can see here that there is some different text in here. This is our free marker code that we're using to personalize this message. So it's saying property city is ready for your arrival, and here are your reservation details, where it has the link in your confirmation number.
Okay, cool.
So what we wanted,
and Luke, I have a quick, let me stop you. When you're putting in that free marker, are you able to get it from that little fancy tool up in the right hand of your SMS box?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes. So you don't have to type that, right? You don't have to type this out by hand. Again, the great thing about MessageGears is connecting directly to your external data source, right? To your database, whatever your data warehouse, whatever that might be. And so you can go through and get these fields directly from there, right? So
Amazing.
Maybe if I wanted to say, you know what, I wanted to say, you know, I wanted to add some different points in here. Let's actually include the property name in here as well. So we'll say, I just go over here, hit property name, that copies it to my clipboard, and then go here and paste this out here and say, I'll say property name in property city, right, is ready for your arrival. Again, you get the little display over here of what this looks like with the values, or the placeholder text of a free marker. But once you save and then preview, this is where you get to actually see how the data for each user is getting populated and rendered.
Awesome.
So again,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, here is the email, here's the push message, and then again, here is the SMS. So here it says again, Getaway Pike Place in Seattle is ready. So then we go to the next recipient here. When you just hit the next one, and you can see how each message is changing with each recipient.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have two questions coming in here, and a
Mhm.
comment from myself. So what I'm seeing is that MessageGears is giving away free vacations. What I'm hearing
Yes. Yeah,
from the
you
crowd, I
go
have
for it.
two questions here. One is, can people create an automation that can send their email or send their SMS? Can they set that up automatically?
Yeah, so it depends on what you mean by automation. Couple different things. If you need to set up a automation to trigger off an API call, so let's
Mhm.
say someone, like think of like a confirmation message, right? Like someone you purchase something and you get a confirmation message via SMS. So as soon as the confirmation gets placed, you can set up an automation to then trigger. You basically you have we have a endpoint for you to hit once that confirmation has been um, done on in your systems in. You hit the
Mhm.
endpoint with the data that gets put in the message, and that
Mhm.
message gets sent. And again, you're managing the content here in the tool, and
Mhm.
then you're also basically you're calling the API from your internal system. Another automation you can do schedule, of course, schedule jobs as well. You need to schedule.
Mhm.
If you need to kind of do that triggered, and maybe every 30 minutes or every hour, I want to go look for who has done a purchase in the past hour, or et cetera. You can do that as well.
Okay, awesome. Those both are excellent options. Thank you for walking us through those. And then one more quick question, which I could basically answer here. Can you send SMS to a user that opted into SMS but doesn't have email? So yes, we're able to send, if you track your customer's preferred channel, whether that's push email or SMS, we can do that here in MessageGears. And I think Luke will point it out here on the screen before we go on to our next use case.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, and actually I think we could talk about that in this use case. Yeah, we can. This use case
Yeah.
supports it. So there are two ways to do channel preference in message, right? So you have an explicit way where you're stating exactly what channel the user should receive the message on, or the implicit way, and you're providing the addresses, and then we know based off those addresses which ones to send. So in this case, this is the explicit way. You'll specify what's called a channel preference, and once the message is sent, it goes through and says, okay, this has all three: email, push, and SMS, but this specific recipient wants SMS. So then we'll just send the SMS message. Alternatively, if you don't want to set that explicitly, what we can also do is you specify the addresses. So in this case, we have email address, we have the push address, and then we also have the SMS address. So let's say if you didn't specify the push address and you didn't specify the email address, right? What you'll see here is that this page here still works, but if I
Hmm.
try and go through and go back to the email, you'll see that there's an error here and says, hey, recipient does not have a valid email address. So I'm not going to be able to send the email for this.
Perfect.
So we'll know that the email doesn't need to be sent.
Okay, awesome. One last question here. Can you have a message come from a different number or short code if you have a recipient that lives in a different country? Um,
Yes, yeah. That's actually my next use case too.
Perfect. Yes.
Let's dive into that.
Okay,
So
great.
this, yeah, from the content side. So this is that use case. From the content side, this is a bit more, and for yeah, it's a very easy language to learn. And once you pick up on it, it's extremely powerful. So in this case, instead of selecting the shortcode that gets used, we're actually going to basically go and we have a function here that goes and grabs the correct shortcode. And then here again with an SMS body, that is also done with just a little bit of code. So let's go and see what that looks like in the preview.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and you did cut out there a second, Luke. Luke was mentioning that you use FreeMarker, which is unique to MessageGears, and it pulls back, all of your recipient information, which is super easy to use.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it can be extremely powerful. So in this case, we actually have, so let me go back to HTML, the email here. In this case, we have a few different versions. We have one in French, we have one in Spanish, one in Chinese, and I think one in English. So this is, again, you'll see the email changing here. but the same is going to be true for SMS. Let me go back to the beginning. Yeah, so in this case,
so really
go ahead.
quick, we have a question here. We have all those different languages. I think this is true to say MessageGears does support sending all of those. What are MessageGears like translation capabilities? Is it like as long as you have it in your data, we can connect to anything? Could you explain that to me quickly?
Yeah, sure. So we aren't doing the translation here. We're actually all the copy is preloaded into what we call snippets, or kind of think like content blocks, and then those are being pulled in based off of the user's locale that's referenced here. So basically, with FreeMarker, I can take the locale and reference and say, okay, this person needs the French copy. Load the French copy for them. The cool thing about FreeMarker specifically is that you don't have to worry about formatting. It takes care of all the date formatting, the number formatting, the currency formatting. It's great about that. So you don't even have to think about that. You just need to pull in the correct copy. You know, you can go, this is actually done with Google Translate, to be honest with you. It can be as easy as that.
Excellently. Thank you so much.
Yep. So here, as we see, we have this French version. You'll see the body of the message is in French, and then you'll see here that the short code is actually different. It's not that 61030 anymore. It's this 55555, and that's the different country, because that's the country that short code needs to be sent for customers in that country. So in similar fashion, you have Spain. You will see that the language is in Spanish, and then you'll see that the short code is also different. And then we have the same for Chinese, and here's again the 61030 short code for the US. And then finally, another example here is the US, so it's Spanish and US. So let's say you have a customer in the US who prefers the Spanish language. You can still send from 61030 and still make it's still powerful to understand that this user prefers the Spanish language. So I'm sending from this short code in Spanish. And that's, again, thanks to FreeMarker that we're able to do that.
Awesome, cool. And we do have some clients already sending global SMS, right?
We do, yeah. We have clients, gosh, I want to say it's, of course, US, Canada, UK, Hong Kong. I feel like there's one more, somewhere else in Europe. I don't, Western Europe. I don't want to say the wrong country though, so.
Awesome, cool, thanks.
So yeah, that's what I have as far as the demo goes. Are there any other questions, Danielle, that have come in?
Yeah, we have two here before we wrap it up. So working with SMS, does this integrate with a CRM that someone may be using? Like where would this data be coming from for them?
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned it briefly, but again, MessageGears is different when it comes to the data side, right? We are connecting directly to your database, your data warehouse, and pulling data from there. So there's no kind of sync that needs to happen. You don't need to send data to us on a cadence or anything. We are I'll pull this up here, right? We are going through and pulling data using kind of our audience builder to go through, connect to your database, and pull that directly from your database.
Awesome, cool. And if someone, we mentioned this before, if someone is using MessageGears, they can easily fold SMS right into their workflow, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's so there's this application here that you see, has the ability to kind of turn on and off the different channels. Email, the base is email, and you can add push and SMS if you want to. But yeah, so that way if you don't send push and you only send email and SMS, for example, then you can have just those two channels.
Okay, great. And just one last one. I would say this is almost the perfect cherry on top of this webinar ice cream. Do you have to have a specific provider to use this, or does MessageGears support all like solve providers or whatever you use?
Yeah, it's a great question. Excuse me. We have a preferred provider that we like to use, but if you want to bring your own provider, we're up for using them as well. So yeah, we can use any provider that you want us to.
Amazing, cool. Well, if you just want to switch back to me, we can.
Sure.
tell the people goodbye in a second. Thank you guys so much for attending today. I know I've had a fun time sharing with Luke. So glad you could come and reach us via webinar from the new office.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to learn more or reach out just for saving you a ton of time and money, we would love to hear from you. And yeah, so you can go on our website or email us at sales@messagegears.com. We also have an awesome video on SMS on our website that you can watch as well. So thank you so much. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you, Danielle. See you.
Bye.